Now, look, I know some of you are going to look at this title and have a range of reactions, right? There are going to be the people who actually think Jimmy G is good that are going to be mad at me. I can already hear them in the comment. They're already typing. I hear you typing, bro. Jimmy has all these wins. Jimmy's a winner. You know what I mean? All that stuff, right? And then there's going to be people who just see Baker Mayfield in the title who are also mad at me, who say, Quincy's just bashing on Baker. He's hating on Baker. And then there's going to be people who actually do read the title but don't watch the video, who are going to comment right now and see, see, Quincy finally flip-flopping to Baker. Look, man. Look. I just want to talk about reality when it comes to the quarterback position. And that's what I'm going to do for the rest of this week, right? I'm doing a series of videos. Hopefully I can get all of these videos done this week, right? Where I'm going to look at a bunch of names that have been brought up in rumors about the Cleveland Browns going to them and just evaluating if those guys would be upgrades from Baker Mayfield. And even if they are upgrades, how much of an upgrade do they have to be to get there? Now, I know you have a couple of questions. One, who are the quarterbacks, right? The quarterbacks that I'm looking at, right, for upgrade or to see if they're upgrade over Baker: Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Those are the four names that I want to evaluate. Now, in order to see what kind of a leap is necessary to kind of get you to that level, I did a couple of test runs, but the main run that I did was comparing Jared Goff's numbers to Matt Stafford's, right? Because obviously that leap did something for the Rams. But since I did that, they're also included in this whole thing. I'm not going to do a video if Matt Stafford's an upgrade from Baker Mayfield or if Jared Goff's an upgrade from Baker Mayfield. That'll be a waste of time, but I do have them included in some of these numbers as kind of a baseline of improvement. And as I was doing research for this video, and I've been doing research for this video for like the last 3 weeks. Honestly, this whole week of videos I've been working on for like a month and a half. So please appreciate them. Please just have the respect to like actually watch the video if you're going to be mad or upset at what I do or don't say, because this did take a ton of work from me, right? I'm kind of exhausted from all of this, but nonetheless, the work is done, at least for Jimmy Garoppolo. And what did I find? What I found was that Jimmy Garoppolo is a lemon. In my opinion, I think whoever trades for him is getting a lemon. I think there's nothing left. I don't think he's good. I think he's bad, like really, really bad. Like I would not trade for him bad. Like I don't know what team would, but if I'm the Cleveland Browns, absolutely not. I would rather play with Baker Mayfield. And y'all know I've not had the most positive opinion of Baker Mayfield's body of work over 4 years. I made a whole video about that. But even considering that, I would rather be with Baker than trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, because he's not just Baker Mayfield, right? That's why I've heard he's just Baker Mayfield with a higher cap number. No, he's worse. He is worse than Baker Mayfield, and I'm going to attempt to prove that. Now, again, this video is not a defense of Baker Mayfield. If you're going to take it that way, good, but like being better than Jimmy Garoppolo in my eyes, not the marker of a franchise quarterback, man. Like you're better than what's really bad, in my opinion. So again, this really isn't a defense of Baker Mayfield. It's more of a discussion of Jimmy G and some of the factors that have led to Jimmy G being overrated, and why I think with some of these numbers that Jimmy G is horribly overrated right now. Now, first thing we're going to look at is Jimmy G's QBR and PFF charts. And I've done this for every quarterback that we're going to evaluate, and even the baseline guys. So Jimmy G has one, Russ has one, Kirk has one, Derek has one, and then, of course, Baker has one from the original video that I put out, The Truth of Baker Mayfield. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Now, what we found out was that Baker Mayfield, according to PFF and QBR, will give you anywhere from 8 to 10 bad games a year. Now, that's not a good range. The range you want to be in for that, right? And Jimmy G, I think he's at 8 to 9, so a similar range, even though he shaves off one game at the back end. The range you want to be at is, I think you want to be, if you can get to 6 to 8, I think you can win a Super Bowl with that quarterback. Anything lower than 6, obviously you can win a Super Bowl with that quarterback, and anything lower than 8. But 6 to 8 is the minimum range for me for what I think is a Super Bowl level quarterback play. Baker, 8 to 10. It's not what you want to see there, even though Baker's best year, let me go to Baker's best year real quick. His best year in 2018 was at that level, right? He had 6 bad games per 17-game season in 2018. If you just average it out to 17 games. 2019, he had 11. 2020, Baker had 7. And in 2021, Baker had 10. So when he's good, he is good enough to get to a Super Bowl. The problem is that in between those 2 good seasons are 2 abysmal seasons where he gives you 11 or 10 bad games. You can't live with that, right? I would gladly have Baker Mayfield give us 7 good games a year if that meant that he would cap off the bad games at 8, because that's a lot more manageable than sometimes he gets you 6, sometimes he has 11 bad games, right? That's not as manageable. Jimmy Garoppolo, on the other hand, and he only has 2 real full seasons under his belt because he's been injured so much. But 2019, he had about 7 to 9 bad games. In 2021, this man's range went from 9 to 11 bad games. He is on the downturn. So that's one thing. I know he wins games, and we're going to get to that, right? The win-loss record. That's the main argument for Jimmy Garoppolo. But I believe that win-loss record to be absolute fool's gold. Why? Well, I'll show you why I think that. Okay, I'm going to pull it up on screen here for you guys. So this is Jimmy Garoppolo's chart. Now, ignore all the extra notes I have here. I've just had notes kind of preparing myself for this video. But this is Jimmy G's chart. Now, Baker's chart is over here. We only have this Pro Football Focus chart. This is the years in whatever that he has played. And what I want you to notice how much red, right, is is right here. That's not good. But also notice that the solid numbers that are shaved in, those are wins. Now, again, when Baker has bad games, it's a lot less solid numbers in here, right? He's 5 and 10, 4 and 11 in those scenarios, with 48% of his games being deemed bad games. Now, what is Jimmy Garoppolo? Jimmy Garoppolo has had, according to PFF at least, about 56% of his games deemed below a starting level, but he's 11 and 4 in the backup category in 5 and 8. This man has a winning record somehow when he plays below a starting, a 16 and 12 winning record. No other quarterback evaluated has anything close to that. So it tells me that's abnormal. And to be honest with you, that to me tells me that he has been carried. Like, this is a dude who has absolutely been carried his entire NFL career. He's never really been on a bad team, right? Like, he has been carried. Maybe his second year, the first year with San Francisco, you can make that argument because there's a lot of good blue out here. But after that, whenever we've seen this man for 17 or 16 games, it has gone downhill. He has not been good. So there is that, right? The win-loss record is good, but how did he play in those wins and losses? He played awful in a lot of those wins. Straight awful. He has more wins where he has played a backup level quality of quarterback play, according to PFF, than he has games where he has played elite and Pro Bowl level, according to PFF. This is why I say that Jimmy Garoppolo is 100%, in my eyes, fool's gold. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll live with it. But I believe that win-loss record is absolute fool's gold. He's getting worse right? The bad games are increasing. The number of awful starts are increasing. The number of good starts are decreasing as the years have gone on with Jimmy Garoppolo. And then I dared to gander at some of Jimmy Garoppolo's advanced numbers. And they're bad. They're really, really bad. Now, I want you to keep in mind throughout this entire video that Jimmy Garoppolo has achieved these awful numbers throughout his career in spite of being coached by two of the best minds in football currently, in my opinion, right? Bill Belichick and Kyle Shanahan. Those are the only two coaches he's had. And he has achieved some of these awful, awful numbers. And also, keep in mind, Jimmy Garoppolo is injury prone. He has played 2 full seasons, and he's a 6-year vet. He has played less games than Baker, 10 less games almost, less than Baker Mayfield, despite him being 30 years old and a 6-year vet. Huge red flag. You know what else is a huge red flag? Of all of the quarterbacks that I had looked at, right? That's like 7 quarterbacks. His turnover-worthy plays percentage was 3.8. That's the highest of all the quarterbacks. Okay, he throws a lot of turnover-worthy plays, but maybe he's like a Brett Favre situation, right? Where he risks the ball to make some big-time throws. Well, let's look. His big-time throw percentage, the amount of big-time throws that he has made in his entire career is 2.6. That is by far the lowest out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL. To put this in perspective, Baker Mayfield also has a high turnover-worthy play percentage at 3.9, right? He also has a big throw percentage of 5.8, which is one of the higher ones. Like, I think it's only second to Russell Wilson. So there is a risk and reward there with Baker Mayfield. With Jimmy Garoppolo, is just risk. It's just risk. You don't even get the Baker Mayfield rewards that you get with Baker Mayfield. You get just all the interceptions, more interceptions actually, because he throws more turnover-worthy plays. In 2021, out of 27 quarterbacks who have taken at least 50% of their team's dropbacks, so we're talking starters, Jimmy was first of all of them in turnover-worthy plays. You know where he was with big-time throws this year? Jimmy Garoppolo was last, dog. He threw the most risky footballs and gave you the least reward out of all 27 quarterbacks who had at least 50% of their team's dropbacks. That is ridiculously bad. Like, if you thought Baker Mayfield was bad this year, and he was bad this year, make no mistake about it. I'm not defending Baker Mayfield's 2021, but he was bad this year. You want to know where Baker ranked in that same metric this year? Baker was 5th, not first, 5th in turnover-worthy plays this year, and he was 13th in big-time throws. He wasn't last. That split, I'm sorry, is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Also, when you consider the fact that when you look at drop percentage, right, throughout both these quarterbacks' entire career, just so you can get an idea of how much help they're getting. Garoppolo, his drop percentage is about 7. That's not great, but it's not bad, right? Baker's throughout his career is 8.3, which is, that once you get above 8, that means that you could use better help throughout your wide receiving, right? That's not a good number to be at. You don't want to be at 8, right? You want to be around 6, 6.5, maybe 7, but you want to be under 8. It's mind-blowing how Kyle Shanahan has gotten away in the modern NFL with quarterback play this bad. Yeah, I was doing the research for this video, and honestly, when I was doing the research for the Jimmy Garoppolo video, I was making the argument in my head for Kyle Shanahan to be in the Hall of Fame already, because this is just fantastic stuff that he has done. He has squeezed the most juice out of this lemon that I think anybody could have gotten out of Jimmy Garoppolo. This is Jimmy Garoppolo's best case scenario for his NFL career. Like, I don't know what could have went better for him. I don't know who could have done better with him. I don't imagine, but this is the best he can do, because every other number other than his win-loss record is absolutely mediocre about this man. And just like I say to people who just mindlessly defend Baker Mayfield and don't want to listen to any actual argument about why Baker might not be the best option for this team going forward, I have to say to people who mindlessly want to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo because they just don't like Baker Mayfield and want anybody but Baker on the team, you have to look at the numbers. Like, you have to look at them. They will tell you some truths that you don't want to hear. They will tell you more behind a number that you want to tout that you might not want to hear, because it makes your argument much worse, or at least it brings out the truth in your argument. And this is the main one. You can talk about Jimmy Garoppolo's win-loss record all you want, but every other number that Jimmy Garoppolo has produced as an NFL quarterback has been awful. I have no reason to believe that he won't take a dive, a similar dive that Jared Goff did, once he leaves that situation. I mean, I'm dead serious. Jimmy Garoppolo, hard no, absolutely not. I do not want to see him in the Cleveland Browns uniform, not even as a backup. Because what I want as a backup is somebody who can stabilize Baker's floor, not somebody who can recreate it. Because that's all Jimmy does. Jimmy is Baker Mayfield's floor without the high. He's just consistently the floor. Like, not as bad as the floor with Baker, right? Because Baker will give you like 11 bad games sometimes, right? And it's bad, and a ton of interceptions. But it ain't that much better than Baker's floor. It's just been sugar-coated by great teams with great coaches. I can't imagine what he would do with, like, if he gets traded to Miami, that's a wrap for Jimmy. He's going to be awful in Miami. Mark my words on that one. If I'm wrong, I will be wrong and shocked. But Jimmy Garoppolo, man, this ain't the dude. He is not the guy. He is not who you want to trade for. Absolutely not. We're going to stamp no on Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't want to hear Jimmy Garoppolo to the Browns talk anymore. I'm done with it. You know, we can look at other options, but Jimmy Garoppolo, this is Jimmy Garoppolo, disinfectant wipes. This is Jimmy Garoppolo, and we are going to ceremoniously take Jimmy Garoppolo out of consideration for the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback job next year. Absolutely not. We're throwing that out the way. That's garbage is due. I don't want to do it. But that's my thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you still want Jimmy Garoppolo to quarterback your team? Or do you think we need to aim a little higher than Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Like, I mean, goodness, like there's no reason to go to him. But that's my thoughts about Jimmy. Let's hope the comment section is civil, because there's really nothing to argue. This is a video about how bad Jimmy Garoppolo is, and there's no good argument against him being bad, because everything else that matters says he's terrible. But that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Have a great day. Have a good night.